Did you know that the most profound form of rebellion in our modern world might not be a protest or a march, but simply going to bed on time? It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? We live in a society that celebrates burning the midnight oil, a culture that sees sleep as a necessary evil to be conquered. But what if I told you that this constant battle against our own bodies is the very source of so much of our exhaustion, our sickness, and our unease? What if the key to unlocking vibrant health, boundless energy, and a deep sense of peace wasn't in a new supplement or a complicated biohack, but in rediscovering a rhythm as old as life itself? I used to be a walking zombie, truly, before my life in the monastery. I was caught in the relentless current of a 24/7 world. I believed that my willpower was stronger than my need for rest, but my body, in its infinite wisdom, eventually presented a bill I could no longer ignore. It was a long and humbling journey back to health, and it all began with understanding a simple, beautiful concept: the body's clock. This isn't just about getting more sleep. It's about aligning your entire life with the sacred, natural rhythm that beats within you. It's about learning to listen when your body whispers, so you don't have to hear it scream. So, what is this mysterious internal clock? In modern terms, it's called the circadian rhythm. Imagine your body is a grand, ancient orchestra. Throughout a 24-hour day, different sections are meant to take the lead. In the morning, the percussion of your metabolism and the brass fanfare of your energy-producing hormones are meant to be loud and vibrant. As evening approaches, the soft strings of melatonin and the gentle woodwinds of relaxation are supposed to guide you into a restful state. This cycle, this symphony, governs nearly everything. It dictates not just your sleep-wake cycle, but the ebb and flow of your body temperature, the release of crucial hormones like cortisol for alertness and melatonin for sleep, and even the efficiency of your digestion and metabolism. Think of it like the tides. The ocean doesn't question when to rise and when to fall. It simply follows a cosmic rhythm. Our bodies are no different. There's a time for activity and a time for rest, a time for eating and a time for fasting, a time for bright light and a time for deep darkness. When we honor this rhythm, every system in our body performs its function with grace and efficiency. But when we disrupt it, it's like asking the violin section to play a thunderous drum solo in the middle of a lullaby. The result is chaos, disharmony, and eventually a breakdown of the entire system. The conductor of this grand orchestra resides in a tiny, almost mystical part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. It's a beautiful name, isn't it? It sounds like something from an ancient text. This small cluster of nerve cells, located in the hypothalamus, is profoundly sensitive to the most powerful signal in our environment, light. For millions of years, the rising and setting of the sun was the unwavering metronome for all of life on Earth. When light, particularly the blue light spectrum found in morning sunlight, enters your eyes, it sends a direct signal to the SCN. This signal essentially says, the day has begun. Wake up, be alert. The SCN then sends messages throughout your body, telling your adrenal glands to release cortisol, your metabolism to fire up, and your core body temperature to rise. Conversely, as the sun sets and darkness falls, the absence of this light signals the SCN to begin the evening's performance. It cues the pineal gland to release melatonin, the hormone that makes you feel sleepy and prepares your body for deep, restorative rest. It's a perfectly elegant system. However, we now live in a world of artificial light. Our screens, our light bulbs, our cities that never sleep, they are all screaming confusing signals at our ancient SCN. We are essentially telling our internal conductor that it's daytime at 11 p.m. and then wondering why we can't fall asleep. Understanding this direct link between light and your internal clock is the first, most crucial step in reclaiming your natural rhythm. I remember an old story about a gardener who was known for having the most vibrant and resilient plants in the entire village. Everyone else struggled with pests and weak blossoms, but his garden was a paradise. When asked for his secret, he didn't mention special soils or exotic fertilizers. He simply said, I listen to the sun. The plants know when to open and when to close. They know when to seek light and when to rest in the dark. I don't try to force a flower to bloom at midnight. I just provide the conditions for it to follow its own nature. This is the essence of living in sync with our circadian rhythm. When we consistently disrupt this natural cycle, we are trying to force our own bodies to bloom at midnight. The consequences are not just feeling tired. A misaligned clock can lead to a cascade of health problems. It can disrupt your sleep architecture, preventing you from getting the deep, restorative stages of sleep your brain needs to clear out metabolic waste. This brain fog and poor concentration are just the beginning. Over time, this chronic misalignment is linked to an increased risk of serious conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. The constant, low-grade stress of being out of sync puts a tremendous strain on every organ and system. Beyond the physical, the toll on our mental and emotional well-being is immense. Think about the feeling of jet lag, that disoriented, irritable, and emotionally fragile state. When we live against our body's clock, we are essentially putting ourselves in a state of perpetual, low-grade jet lag. Our mood-regulating neurotransmitters, like serotonin and dopamine, are also on a 24-hour schedule. Their production and release are timed to support a stable, positive mood during the day. When the SCN signals are scrambled by erratic sleep schedules and late-night light exposure, the production of these crucial chemicals becomes dysregulated. This is why a poor night's sleep can make us feel so low and anxious the next day. Chronic misalignment is now strongly linked in scientific literature to a higher risk of developing depression and anxiety disorders. It's not a weakness of character, it's a biological reality. Your brain is trying to operate on a faulty schedule, and your emotions are the first to reflect that internal chaos. Restoring your circadian rhythm is one of the most powerful, foundational things you can do for your mental health. It's like giving your mind the stable ground it needs to find its own peace. Let's talk about the guardians of your health. Your immune system. Much like every other system, your immune cells operate on a strict circadian schedule. During the day, they are vigilant, patrolling your body for invaders. But it's during the night, in the deep, restful phases of sleep, that they do their most important work. This is when your body focuses on repair and memory consolidation. Your immune system uses this time to create and store memory cells of any pathogens it encountered during the day. This is how you build long-term immunity. Furthermore, the nightly release of melatonin isn't just for sleep. It's also a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant agent. It helps calm the fires of inflammation that may have been sparked during the day. When you cut your sleep short or have a disjointed rhythm, you are robbing your immune system of its critical night shift. You're not producing enough melatonin to quell inflammation, and you're not giving your immune cells the time they need to properly catalog threats. This leaves you more susceptible to catching every cold that goes around and can make it harder to recover from illness. Honoring your sleep is not a luxury. It's a non-negotiable act of self-preservation that fortifies your body's natural defenses. So, how do we begin to tune our instrument and get our orchestra back in sync? It begins with simple, consistent actions. The most powerful is to establish a consistent sleep-wake cycle. Try to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day, yes, even on weekends. This consistency is the anchor for your circadian rhythm. Second, embrace the light. Make it a non-negotiable practice to get at least 15 to 20 minutes of direct sunlight exposure. Within the first hour of waking, no sunglasses. Let that natural light hit the receptors in your eyes. This is the master signal that sets your clock for the entire day. As evening approaches, do the opposite. Begin to dim the lights in your home. An hour or two before bed, put away the phones, tablets, and computers. The blue light from these screens is particularly disruptive, tricking your brain into thinking it's still midday. If you must use a screen, use a blue light filtering app or glasses. Create a peaceful bedtime routine, a warm bath, gentle stretching, reading a physical book, meditation. These are signals to your body and mind that the day is ending. And consider the timing of your meals and exercise. A heavy meal or intense workout too close to bedtime can raise your core body temperature and interfere with sleep. Try to finish your last meal at least 2 to 3 hours before you turn in for the night. and schedule vigorous exercise earlier in the day. These aren't rigid rules, but gentle guidelines to help you find your personal rhythm. Living in sync with your body is not about perfection. It is about intention and awareness. It is a practice, a gentle returning, day after day. I encourage you to become a student of your own energy. Notice when you feel most alert. Notice when you begin to feel tired. Instead of fighting these signals with caffeine or sugar, what would it feel like to simply listen? What if you honored that dip in afternoon energy with a brief 10-minute rest, or a short walk in nature instead of another cup of coffee? Creating a personalized sleep schedule isn't a restriction. It's an act of profound self-respect. It's creating a sacred space for your body to heal and rejuvenate. You might consider keeping a simple journal for a week. Note when you wake up, when you get sunlight, when you eat, when you feel energetic, and when you feel tired. You'll begin to see your own unique pattern, your body's personal song. This journey is about moving from a relationship of conflict with your body to one of deep, respectful partnership. You are not just a mind driving a machine. You are a unified, living, breathing miracle, governed by a rhythm as ancient and as beautiful as the turning of the earth. By honoring this rhythm, you are not just improving your health, you are coming home to yourself.